Alright guys, we're back. Miss Passiert here with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes gameplay video. Today we're going to go right into my main account's Galactic War. So this is a voiceover after the fact. Took me about half an hour to clear this Galactic War. So it's going double speed for you. By default, whenever you pick up Galactic War the next day or the second playthrough or the very next playthrough, it'll by default put the same characters you finished the last battle of the last Galactic War with, if I'm not mistaken. So I think I'd already mentioned that Sophie is one of my favorite Galactic War leaders. Her leader ability it's too good for keeping your characters up health-wise. Her heal basically renders Darth Sidious useless because you run into him darn near every single time. Since I've got my Qui-Gon Jinn up to 6 stars, I like to keep him in the lineup, and like I mentioned in my other video about Ahsoka Tano, she is one of my new favorite characters, so she always has a spot in at least the first half of my Galactic War, if not most of my Galactic War. I understand that, Darth Sidious, he's kind of a pain in the butt to try and kill with Jedi, but that's kind of why I always try to keep at least one non-Jedi character in my lineup, like Darth Sidious. Darth Sidious versus Darth Sidious. Also, I've noticed that even though his increased dodge against Jedi is pretty high, usually when I use Qui-Gon's assist attack, I usually get at least one of those attacks to hit, and especially if it's the second attack, it will more often than not almost take out Darth Sidious completely, especially if Qui-Gon calls my own Darth Sidious to attack the opponent's Darth Sidious. So you'll notice that I keep pretty much the same lineup for the first darn near the first 3/4 of my Galactic War. Every once in a while I'll change it up just to play with different characters, but Qui-Gon, Luminara, and Barasafi usually make up the core of, I'd say, about 90% of my Galactic War. Luminara I mentioned in my other videos, or my other account's Galactic War is just too valuable in Galactic War not to use. Her heal, her attacks, her high damage, relatively good health pool, all of that. It makes things pretty easy. Once again, Darth Sidious on the opponent's team. Go figure. No surprise there. Chewie is normally pretty annoying, but when you've got Qui-Gon on your team, he's far less annoying because that taunt just serves as giving an opportunity to give offense up to my entire team, as evidenced right there. Couple that with the fact that it's only a 2-move cooldown, or rather 2-turn cooldown for Qui-Gon to use again. I usually don't worry about having tanks on the other team. On the off occasion that I have more than one tank on the opponent's team, I'll usually throw in Asajj Ventress for her AoE buff removal ability. Otherwise, I just stick with keeping Qui-Gon in my lineup with a bunch of other heavy damage dealers. Unfortunately, Barasafi doesn't hit that hard, but like I said, her leader abilities, her heal, are just too valuable not to put her in as leader. I know some people would say, oh, well, why don't you use Luminara as your leader? She gives the same health up every time at the beginning of everybody's turn. The difference there is that Luminara doesn't have the as strong of a health bonus every turn, and her heal while nice, it's nice to have two healers on your team. I left Poe for last here because honestly his damage is not that great, and he's pretty much the lowest threat. I've noticed that Poe really isn't that much of a threat anymore. Since the latest patch, he doesn't apply his debuffs that often, so this team is a little bit different. You got three healers, retaliation character, and Darth Vader. Darth Vader is only level 64, so his AoE dot is not going to do that much damage. So I wasn't really worried about throwing in a wave of lobies, so to speak, to absorb his attacks. Plus, I had a good opportunity here after taking out Luminara to go ahead and put the ability block on Vader so he didn't get the chance to use that AoE dot, and then pretty much mopped him up before he even had a chance to attack. You'll notice that I usually leave 5s for last, just because he has such an insane health pool. It's kind of obnoxious to try and take him down. Plus, his retaliation isn't a guarantee. He doesn't retaliate every single time. So you'll notice that he only retaliated, I think that's the second time he counterattacked. So he only got 2 counterattacks off on me before I was able to clean him up. Already about halfway through the Galactic War and haven't lost any characters, and everybody's almost full health. Telling you, Barasafi is a great leader. So this was a little bit of an interesting team. Sometimes when I see Asajj Ventress on the opponent's team, my goal is to actually take out one character before I get to Asajj Ventress, because she gets that buff from opponents dying, so you'll notice that I kind of kept her alive there. Decided to take out Aeth Koth instead. The downside is that I don't know why, but I've noticed that Asajj Ventress, her abilities don't get removed. Her buffs don't get removed whenever Qui-Gon does the ability, or his third attack, his third special attack, where he debuffs, or removes buffs, rather. So it was kind of weird. I don't know if that's a bug that they haven't fixed or what, but I've noticed that a few times. You'll notice that I go through this a lot faster than my on my other account. A lot less retreating. But I think I ended up actually retreating on this battle. I think this is the lineup that gave me trouble, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But you know, you never can tell, honestly, with Luke Skywalker. Sometimes he gives you a lot of trouble, and other times he doesn't. And yeah, I did restart. You'll also notice that I get a lot of dodges on my opponent's Darth Sidious, and that drives me bonkers. That's probably the most frustrating thing about going up against Darth Sidious with that many Jedi. And you'll notice that I ended up swapping out Ahsoka for Count Dooku, because Count Dooku is one of my favorite anti-Darth Sidious characters. And then, right there, you'll notice my Qui-Gon pretty much got two-shotted. So I decided to swap it out again, change out Count Dooku for Poggle. Because if you can't outlast him, just focus fire him down and take him out quick. So, same strategy here, take out Sidious. It's kind of generally my first course of action whenever I'm up against Sidious. Got that Luminara heal out to keep my Count Dooku up. Go ahead and focus down Kylo Ren since he doesn't have that retaliation up. Took him down before he even got to move again. That's kind of one of the reasons I don't... yeah, my Kylo Ren is up to 6 stars. And he's... God, I think he might only have like 1 or 2 pieces of gear that I haven't put on him yet. But he's slow. He doesn't hit that hard. Even his third ability that does increased damage if he's under 50% health, I honestly don't get to use that attack when he's under 50% health very often because I focus so much on keeping my characters up. And honestly, the only time he's ever below 50% health generally is in arenas. And like I said, he's so slow that right now with the current meta, you know, speed is where it's at. And slow characters like Kylo Ren just aren't that competitive. So it's not that great of he's not that great of a character right now in the current meta. One thing that I have found, you'll notice that I debuffed, or rather removed the advantage buff from Luminara there. I have noticed that it's kind of hit or miss. I don't know if it's a glitch or not, but sometimes if you use Qui-Gon's ability to remove a buff and its advantage, sometimes you won't get the offense up, even if you remove advantage and the character's left alive when you're hitting them the second time, when advantage would normally go away anyway. So I generally try to remove advantage on the first blow because it almost guarantees that you'll get the offense up on the team. You'll notice that after I beat that one squad with Poggle instead of Ahsoka Tano, I decided to go ahead and keep Poggle in because it was working, you know what I mean? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, plus, I mean, Poggle is probably one of my favorite toolbox characters. The term toolbox was, I kind of picked that up from, sorry, got a little distracted there. I picked that term up from Tiny Grimes. He kind of introduced the term to me anyway. I'd heard the term before a long time ago, but never really thought of it. But it applies really well in this game because you have toolbox characters, and then you have single-use characters or primary attackers or healers. Whereas a toolbox character is a character that generally buffs your team or debuffs the other team, and that's pretty much their only purpose. Captain Phasma is kind of a toolbox attacker because her attacks really depend on her having an advantage, and if she doesn't have advantage, then she doesn't hit that hard. And so having her on your team is it's very... she's a niche character. You'll notice that I kind of got smoked there. My thought process behind putting Phasma in my lineup was because Chewbacca was there on the other team, giving the other team God only knows how much defense. I think when his leader ability is maxed, I think it's something like 50 defense. So my goal here, my thought process was throwing Phasma in to get advantage because advantage basically renders the opponent's defense void. You'll notice that my Darth Sidious kind of got smoked there real fast, but I didn't really worry too much about it. Man, 12,000 crit. That's what I'm talking about right there. See, offense up with advantage. My friggin' Luminara just smoked the opponent there. Friggin' 12,000 crit. That's why Luminara is a heavy hitter. And you'll notice right there, Phasma just got a 6,500 crit. You know, like I said, she's a niche character that depends on buffs to do most of her damage. I didn't bother restarting that last battle after losing Darth Sidious because I have enough level 70 high power characters that losing Darth Sidious on the next to last battle, really not that big a deal. You'll notice that I went ahead and threw Han in there. Han is one of my favorite tanks. I know a lot of people are big fans of Poe Dameron, but honestly, I like Han Solo much better. He has a lot more turn meter control. I know it's percentage or percent chances, but he does a lot more turn meter control over the enemy team. And then he also provides turn meter to his own teammates every time he's attacked, every time he's hit. And I'm pretty sure I haven't tested it too much, but I'm pretty sure that also um, happens whenever he has a dot and takes damage from a dot. So you're talking every time he takes damage. Pretty nifty. You notice I got a Greedo shard there, and that's my first Greedo shard. I thought that was pretty funny. I've been playing the game since it went public, which I think was November. I'm not 100% sure, but uh, that's my first Greedo shard. That makes me laugh a little bit. So I think in my next couple videos, what I'm gonna do is maybe go and do some of the droid challenges. I've already done them on my account, as you can see right there, but they'll reset tomorrow. I might go ahead and make a video tomorrow, but we'll see. Once again, thanks for watching, guys. Like, favorite, subscribe, all that jazz. Share my videos, man. I'm trying to get my name out there. If you like my videos, please comment. I always appreciate your feedback. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you later.